Welcome to the CISO Daily Update.
Zscaler confirms only isolated test server was hacked. Zscaler confirmed that the recent security incident claimed by Intel broker only impacted an isolated test server environment containing no customer data. After Intel broker advertised stolen Zscaler credentials and data for sale, Zscaler launched an internal investigation aided by third-party incident responders. Their investigation found that the compromise was limited to a non-production, internet-facing test server not hosted on Zscaler's infrastructure. Intel broker has targeted various organizations and placed data for sale. Europol is listed as one of its recent victims. Ongoing campaign bombards enterprises with spam emails and phone calls. Researchers at Rapid7 detected an ongoing social engineering campaign flooding enterprises with spam emails and phone calls to gain initial access for further exploitation. Threat actors prompt users to download remote monitoring software under the guise of assistance, subsequently leveraging the remote access to deploy additional payloads for credential harvesting and persistence. While ransomware hasn't been executed, the activity overlaps with indicators linked to Black Basta ransomware operators. Phorpiex Botnet sent millions of phishing emails to deliver LockBit black ransomware. According to New Jersey's Cybersecurity and Communications Integration Cell, the Phorpiex botnet recently sent millions of phishing emails delivering the LockBit black ransomware payload. The phishing campaign utilized zip attachments from spoofed email addresses. Opening the zip executed the LockBit ransomware and encrypting victims' files. Over 500 sending IPs across Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Iran, Russia, China, and more were identified in this large-scale Phorpiex botnet operation. To mitigate this threat, NJCIC provides recommendations on security awareness training, strong passwords, prompt patching, endpoint security, email filtering, ransomware mitigation plans, and reporting phishing incidents to authorities. Telegram CEO calls out rival Signal, claiming it has ties to U.S. government. Pavel Durov, CEO of Telegram, attacked Signal, alleging ties to U.S. intelligence agencies and questioning its security. Durov referenced a City Journal report suggesting Signal's origins and association with U.S. government funding, including connections to Catherine Maher, former Wikimedia Foundation and NPR CEO. He criticized Signal's encryption, claiming it's the same as WhatsApp and others and implying government influence. While Signal has not responded, critics note Durov's motivations, including potential financial incentives amid talks of Telegram going public. NIST confusion continues as cyberpros complain CVE uploads stalled. The U.S. National Vulnerability Database faces its most significant historical crisis, with a 3-month backlog in processing software vulnerabilities. Since mid-February 2024, only a fraction of the received 14,286 common vulnerabilities and exposures were analyzed, leaving attackers ample room for exploitation. Despite assurances from the National Institute of Standards and Technology that vulnerability processing continues, experts report a halt in new CVE uploads since May 9th. The NVD's migration to a new CVE JSON format is cited as the cause. Private firms are stepping in to fill the gap, offering platforms like RiskHorizon.ai's NVD backlog tracker and releasing alternative APIs like VulnCheck NVD++. CISA also recently launched the Vulnrichment program to enrich CVEs with metadata. Hackers use DNS tunneling to scan and track victims. Palo Alto Network's Unit 42 uncovered threat actors using DNS tunneling to scan network vulnerabilities and track victim activity, revealing novel techniques beyond typical malicious traffic concealment. In various campaigns, attackers embed victim-specific information in DNS queries to monitor interactions with phishing emails. To defend against such threats, Unit 42 recommends limiting the DNS resolver service range and keeping the resolver software updated. Android malware poses as WhatsApp, Instagram, Snapchat to steal data. A new Android malware campaign targets users by disguising malicious apps as popular services like WhatsApp, Instagram, Snapchat, and Google. Identified by SonicWall researchers, these fake apps request excessive permissions to gain device control, steal data like contacts and messages, and redirect victims to phishing login pages to capture credentials across platforms like Facebook, PayPal, and Microsoft accounts. Likely distributed through phishing, third-party stores, or bundled software, the malware abuses accessibility and admin permissions for unrestrained device access after deceiving users with familiar branding. To protect against this account theft and fraud threat, Android users must remain cautious of unusual permission requests, verify app authenticity through official channels like Google Play, and implement robust security practices to identify imposter applications masquerading as legitimate services. Google fixes 6th actively exploited Chrome zero-day this year. Google released an emergency Chrome update to patch a critical zero-day vulnerability, CVE 2024-4761, that allows threat actors to execute malicious code. The high-severity out-of-bounds write flaw exists in Chrome's V8 JavaScript engine and is actively exploited in the wild. Google patched the 6th Chrome zero-day of 2024 in versions 124.0.6367.207 or .208 for Windows or Mac, and 124.0.6367.207 for Linux, withholding technical details to prevent further abuse. Users should immediately update Chrome to mitigate the actively exploited vulnerability risk that could lead to remote code execution attacks. With multiple Chrome zero days this year, prompt patching remains crucial for maintaining browser security. Critical flaws in Cacti framework could let attackers execute malicious code. The Cacti network monitoring framework patched 12 vulnerabilities, including 2 critical flaws that enable unauthenticated remote code execution. CVE 224.25.641 allows authenticated users to write arbitrary files for code execution via the package import feature. CVE 2024.29.895 permits unauthenticated command injection when PHP's register argc-argv is enabled. Other high-severity issues like SQL injection, CVE 2024-31.445, and file inclusion, CVE 2024-31.459, could also lead to RCE. Impacting all versions before 1.2.27, except 2 flaws, users must urgently update to mitigate active exploitation risks after public proof-of-concept releases for previous critical Cacti vulnerabilities like CVE 2023-39.361 and CVE 2022-46.169. SAP patches critical vulnerabilities in CX Commerce, NetWeaver. SAP released 17 security notes in its May 2024 updates, patching critical vulnerabilities in CX Commerce, NetWeaver, and Business Client. The hotfixes address a CSS injection bug CVE 2019-17.495, an Apache calcite RCE flaw CVE 2022-36.364, a missing signature check allowing unauthenticated file uploads for complete system compromise CVE 2024-3.30.06, and 23 vulnerabilities in Business Client's Chromium browser, including 3 high-severity issues. Although not indicated as exploited, SAP product flaws are popular targets. Prompt updates are recommended to prevent remote code execution, data exfiltration, and complete system takeover. Apple warns about iOS zero-day exploit. Apple issued a critical fix for a zero-day vulnerability, CVE 2024-23.2.96, affecting older iPhones and iPads, warning that it may have been exploited. The vulnerability impacts real-time kit and allows attackers to bypass kernel memory protections, posing a risk of arbitrary kernel read and write capabilities. Additionally, Apple addressed a logic issue in the Foundation framework that could have exposed user-sensitive data. Microsoft fixes Windows zero-day exploited in QakBot malware attacks. Microsoft addressed the actively exploited zero-day privilege escalation vulnerability, CVE 2024-305.10, in a Windows desktop window manager library. Discovered by Kaspersky, the heap-based buffer overflow flaw enabled escalating to system privileges after compromising targeted systems. Threat actors leveraged this zero-day in attacks, delivering QakBot banking Trojan and other malware payloads on vulnerable machines. With additional reports from Google's TAG, DBAP Security, and Mandiant indicating widespread exploitation, prompt patching is crucial to mitigate risks associated with QakBot, which is known for facilitating ransomware deployments by Cacti, REvil, and other cybercrime groups. Tailoring responsible AI, defining ethical guidelines for industry-specific use. In an interview with HelpNet Security, Chris Peak from Smartsheet shows the importance of tailoring responsible AI practices to each organization's needs. He highlights the need to define responsible AI based on industry, regulatory requirements, and risk assessment. Peak suggests implementing transparent AI principles and practices, including employee training and public disclosure of AI systems workings. Regarding cybersecurity, ongoing skilling and training are recommended to combat AI-driven threats like sophisticated phishing attacks. Peak also discusses AI's role in crisis management and emphasizes the importance of transparency and accountability in AI governance to effectively address potential failures. He anticipates AI governance evolving to enhance data security, but acknowledges challenges related to the rapid adoption of AI and ensuring customer awareness and consent.
Thanks for listening. Remember to subscribe to our newsletter at CISOHeadlines.com. Until next time, stay curious.